Hello and welcome to Entrepreneur TV. If you are interested in innovation, you will love today's episode. Our special guest is Anna Haupt, and her company Hövding created a truly innovative product, the invisible helmet. Hövding started in 2005 as an industrial design master thesis by the two founders, Anna Haupt and Terese. The idea of developing a new type of cycle helmet was a response to the introduction of a law on mandatory helmets in Sweden. Anna and Terese saw the opportunity to find out whether it would be possible to develop a cycle helmet that people would be happy to wear, whether they had to or not. The project resulted in a concept of an airbag helmet, and it's a revolution for the cycling industry. The helmet is actually a collar that falls at the shoulders, and a protective airbag is activated if the cyclist has a collision. Anna, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you.
You and Terese were students by the time you started working on the development of the invisible helmet. So you were developing a totally innovative product and were starting a company at the same time. So which was the biggest challenge for you as entrepreneurs at the beginning?
Actually, when we started this as a master thesis in industrial design, our plans were not to start a company also. Our plans was just to make a master thesis. But then we got a scholarship for the master thesis, and then we actually started thinking if this was going to, maybe we could do this into a real product. And we started a company just in order to apply for a patent to protect our idea. And we thought from the beginning that we should sell the idea to a big company, that an airbag producer or a company that knew of the technology behind, because we had the idea, we had the concept, we had the market out there, and we knew that there was a big demand for new bicycle helmets. But we didn't have the technology to solve the actual airbag system for the head. But when the airbag industry told us that what you're trying to do might be impossible and we can't help you to solve it, we decided that we wanted to make a try ourselves, because they told us that airbag industry in cars work completely different from the way you have to invent an algorithm that can register and sense the abnormal movement in a bicyclist, and that is completely different from the technology in cars, where you have the chassis around the driver, protecting the driver, and that it's the actual car that register the abnormal movements instead of the actual driver. And in this case, it's the driver, the bicyclist itself, that sends the abnormal movement. So we decided to start with the algorithm, because if they said that was the trickiest part, if we could solve that, the rest would be simple, we thought. We raised venture capital in order to employ mathematicians and hardware and software engineers. And we worked with the development for 7 years before we finally had a product that was working. So it took us much longer time than we could ever have imagined when we started.
But you were working something that was totally different for you. I mean, talking about algorithms and airbag industry, this was not your field of knowledge at that time, right?
Exactly. We're industrial designers, but I think it's the perfect background actually to be an entrepreneur, because you're a generalist. You know a little bit about many different things, and you have, foremost, I would say, we have the advantage of knowing very much about the consumers and what they want and how they think and what they need, because that's what our profession is about, to get to know the users and what they want and need. And that has been something that we have been carrying with us from the start, and it's been our goal to always reach with our product to a place where the consumers really want to protect themselves in traffic instead of forced by law or anything else. So for us, it was very important to make this helmet, not even though it's really, really high tech, we wanted it to look very discreet and invisible if possible, in order to get people to start using helmets.
And you did it.
Yeah, in the end.
Launching a product as the invisible helmet requires a lot of different skills, as you were saying, and you need to combine that in a group of people with different backgrounds. Can you share more about the experience of finding the right people and the right partnerships?
We've used contacts almost every time. We went actually to the university, our own university, to ask the professors there about mathematicians and the best students they've ever had. And they were happy to help us to find the right people. And we've never been afraid of asking for help. And I think that's really good. If you don't need to know everything yourself. And I think women are very good at that, asking if you want to learn something and if you need to learn something. And it's not embarrassing to don't know everything yourself. Now working with Hövding for 9 years, of course I'm an expert in airbag helmets. Me and Terese is we're the best in airbag helmets, I would say, in the world. But it took us 9 years to know everything that we need to know, and we needed a lot of help from experts in all kinds of areas.
And you were never afraid to ask?
No.
Good. And Hövding is getting a lot of attention from the media, and the video on YouTube has more than 2 million views. So your company...
12, yes.
12, wow.
Yeah.
So your company is growing really fast. How do you work on a strategy to increase the business at this fast pace without compromising the quality of the product and the customer service?
Well, we've had to employ people at customer service to be able to answer questions as fast as possible. But the product is something that we never compromise with. It's a safety product and it needs to function at all times. So we couldn't launch the product until it was ready. But then when it was CE certified and we could sell it in whole Europe, the product was done, finished, and we have a producer that is really, really experienced in airbag technology products.
The last question would be for those entrepreneurs who are planning to sell in different countries, as you are doing. What would you recommend as key points to focus before starting offering the product?
Definitely to start small, because the hardest thing actually is to be calm enough and wise enough to grow in a speed that you can manage. For us, we get hundreds and hundreds of questions from the American market, and people want to buy it from there, and it's really lovely, of course, and compliments for us. But we need to focus on Europe first, because we need to really get a company that is growing in a speed that we can handle in order to give good customer service, as you mentioned. So I think that's the most important thing, is to grow slow and close to you, because the market that is close to you is much easier to handle.
Oh, that's perfect. Anna, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and your experience today. I'm sure you inspired a lot of people to go for their dreams and to win a gold medal in business. So I wish you great success with your business.
Thank you.